Typology. That means a person, a place, or a thing in the Old Testament that gives us a picture or a model or a pattern that points to the New Testament and is fulfilled. Paul says, hey, let's look at the Old and New Testament, guys. And he's talking to Jewish people. He's talking to people in the church who know of their Jewish heritage. And he says, remember Moses? Moses was a leader of God. Well, guess what? Jesus is going to be a leader of God. Moses took the people out of bondage and out of Egypt and took them through the wilderness into the promised land. Guess what? Jesus is the king and leader who comes and takes us out of bondage and sin and leads us through this wilderness of the world, and he's going to take us to the promised land. Now, what's he talking about? He's talking about what we call typology, Typology, typology. That means a person, a place, or a thing in the Old Testament that gives us a picture or a model or a pattern that points to the New Testament and is fulfilled. So Moses was a leader, Jesus is a leader. Moses was a lawgiver, Jesus is a lawgiver. Moses gave him the 10 Commandments, Jesus gave us the Beatitudes and the Sermon on the Mount. Moses led them out of Egypt, Jesus leads you out of sin. Moses freed them from Pharaoh, the wicked king. Jesus frees you from Satan, the wicked ruler of this world. That's typology. It's when you have something in the Old Testament that is an example, that is a picture that's teaching you of something in the New Testament. That's why you need to read the Old Testament, because God is painting a picture. He's creating a type. So you have a tree of life in the garden. So you have Noah and the ark. So you have Moses and the law. So you have King David sitting on a throne. Every one of them is a picture in the Old Testament that as you had a tree of life in the garden, Jesus is the tree of life you can eat from and live forever. As there was an ark you can get inside and sail through the flood, Jesus is the ark you can get inside and sail through the judgment of fire. As there was King David, a shepherd king sitting on the throne, Jesus is the ultimate shepherd who gathers his sheep and leads them as the King of glory. That's what typology is all about. Seeing the pictures in the Old Testament and understanding they are pointing to, they are patterning and modeling for us the truths